Hey fellas, Crackety here. Today we are going to be taking a look at all the information available to us regarding the new DLCs coming to Age of Empires 4 in 2025. First up, Knights of Cross and Rose is going to start us off as the first DLC for Age of Empires 4 this year, launching on April 8th. Content-wise, we will be getting 2 new variant civilizations that bolster our roster from 16 to 18 playable factions in AoE4, as well as 10 new maps on top of a brand new single-player game mode with repeatability kept in mind. Among these new variant civilizations are the French variant, the Knights Templar, as well as our first English variant with the House of Lancaster. While we do not have details on unique mechanics or civ bonuses for these new variants, the developers did provide us with a couple of pointers when it comes to the strengths of these civilizations. The Knights Templar, for example, will have access to unique commandery age-up system, allowing them to select one of 3 different allies upon age-up to provide them with new unique units and other bonuses. This reminds me a little bit of the Charter Course mechanics, so it's going to be very interesting to see these bonuses in action. We can already see some of the unique units in the trailer, as well as the Steam store page for the DLC, and there are definitely a lot of them, among them even a very unique cool looking ship. On top of that, we know that similar to the French civilization, the Knights Templar will be incentivized when it comes to building, even going as far as to provide them with their own unique keep replacement, the Fortress, that can have a trebuchet replacement that shoots multiple burning rock projectiles at your opponent's troops. Next up, the House of Lancaster, the first English variant civilization, is supposedly going to be, similarly to the English, a mostly defensive civilization, having access to a unique ability on the archers called Synchronized Shot, which allows for a long-range volley shot. This ability reminds me a little bit of the Centaurs from Age of Mythology. I think it's very cool to see them add in unique mechanics like that into the game. The House of Lancaster also has some unique units. So far in the trailer, we've seen a king-like unit, as well as units that wield two-handed maces and throw daggers, so definitely very interesting to see. They also have access to the Manor, a unique building that can generate resources. Personally, I'm not a big fan of passive income, but if done right, this could lead to a very interesting way of scaling your economy, as long as it's not too over the top. Molly. Now, circling back to the new game mode. Historical Battles is going to be a new single-player mode, revolving around, as the name implies, scenarios taking place during historic battles. In this game mode, players will still be able to compete with each other though, as your performance will be graded through a medal system. This kind of reminds me of the Ottoman Art of War mission, which had a ton of replayability to it, so I'm definitely looking forward to this. There are going to be 4 historical battles at the release of the DLC. The Battle of Montgiscard, the Siege of Safed, the Aftermath of Totan, and the Battle of Agincourt. Next up, I want to talk a bit about the overall content scope of the DLC in comparison to the last one, and some of the rumors that are hovering around this DLC. So, back in January, Bisai uploaded a video where he mentioned the following.
What I do know is that DLC, from what I've heard, will be massive. If what I heard is true, it will be not only the biggest DLC, but it will also be a lot of cool stuff. That's all I can say.
So Beastie mentioned that the next DLC, which as he expected is going to be released in April, is going to be massive, and even bigger than Sultan's Ascent. Now, Sultan's Ascent gave us 2 new normal and 4 variant civilizations. We now know that the next DLC is only going to have 2 variant civilizations. These variant civilizations, though, seem to stray a lot further from their original civilizations compared to what we're used to, so I kind of want to count them as a variant civilizations plus, if that makes sense. Still, on paper, that is a lot less new content compared to Sultan's Ascent. This is where the rumor mill is starting to grind its gears, so were there more civilizations planned originally? Is this connected with there being 2 planned for this year instead of just 1? Personally, I think it's very likely that originally it was just planned to be 1 single DLC for 2025, and maybe the developers weren't quite on schedule when it came to being able to release that DLC. So instead of just delaying the DLC until Q4 of 2025, they split into 2 separate DLCs. This would also explain kind of the lack of marketing for this new DLC, as we only just now got this trailer less than 3 weeks before release, and before that, barely anything. Splitting the DLC was probably a decision made relatively late into the development cycle, so not having that much marketing done for this DLC kind of makes a lot of sense. This leaves one big question in the room. If there really was a DLC split, was that a good move, yes or no? DLC so far have always come with very large patch notes to scramble up the meta, so that in combination with 2 new civilizations should definitely be enough content-wise, at least for me personally, to keep me entertained on the ladder. And folks that enjoy single-player content should also find a lot of value with the new civilizations and the new maps when playing up against the AI, as well as with the brand new game mode coming alongside the DLC. So overall, I am very happy with what's coming up for Age of Empires 4 with this next DLC, and looking past that, I'm still very much expecting a very big DLC coming to Age of Empires 4 this year, with at least 2 fully fleshed out civilizations, if not even more. Other things that I'm hoping for as well are quality of life improvements, such as fixes and improvements to the custom mode, with maybe even team games getting support for it, as well as matchmaking lobby changes on top of some other things. I'm also hoping for changes when it comes to the communication of the developer team towards us players, as at the moment, we're kind of just being kept pretty much completely in the dark regarding all the stuff that is in the development pipeline for Age of Empires 4. Something that I'd really like to see, though I'm not too hopeful in regards to this, would be the return of the developer livestreams and development roadmaps that we used to have in the past. Now, with all that said, that is going to be everything from me here for today. Do you think that there was a content split with the upcoming DLC? And what are the things that you guys are looking forward to in 2025 for Age of Empires 4? Let me know in the comments. Rest assured, should any more information be released regarding upcoming content for AoE4, I will make sure to cover it here on my channel. So if you're into that, I would very much appreciate it if you were to like the video, maybe even subscribe to the channel. That way you will get notified whenever new information about Age of Empires 4 gets released. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers!